15 seconds there.
Stand by all cameras, stand by videotape, stand by slow-mo.
Stand by to roll videotape in 5.
And roll tape. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take tape.
From Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, on a beautiful Colorado evening, it's the Oakland Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. And ABC's NFL Monday Night Football is brought to you by Sears Tire and Auto Center for die-hard batteries, steady rider shock absorbers, and Sears steel-belted radial tires. And by Ford and your Ford dealers, who invite you to take a close look at the 1974 Ford cars and trucks. The closer you look, the better we look.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard Cosell. Welcome to still another Monday night of NFL football right here on ABC. And for the first time ever, Monday Night Football comes to you from Denver, Colorado. And what a 3 days Dandy, Frank, and I have had here. A state fair-like atmosphere. The people of this community going wild with excitement and pride, because indeed Monday Night Football has invaded the town. In the midst of the carnival atmosphere, Mayor McNichols has proclaimed it Orange Day here in Denver. Orange is the color of the Broncos, and later when we pan the crowd, you'll see every Denver Bronco fan here wearing some article in orange. In the meantime, we've got a game that we think warrants the enthusiasm of the whole community itself. The Denver Broncos against the Oakland Raiders, and the very standings in the Western Division of the AFC bespeak the fact. There they are. Oakland with a game less in hand than Kansas City, or a game in hand, if you will. Oakland, if it wins tonight, will move out ahead of Kansas City by a half game. But should Denver win and the Broncos have the capacity to win with their new John Ralston-type offense, they and Oakland would be tied just a half game off the pace behind those Kansas City Chiefs. And now, to tell you about the Broncos, the man who's had confetti poured all over his head for the past 3 days, welcomed as he has been to this great Mile High city, Dandy Don Merritt.
Thank you a lot, Howard, and hi from Mile High Stadium in the Mile High city of Denver, Colorado. And I'll tell you, that confetti is really nice and out of sight. I really have had fun. Now, I know going into this ball game tonight, the Oakland Raiders are favored. But the way I look at it, if they got a center named Bobby Maples from Mount Vernon, Texas, snap into a quarterback named Charlie Johnson from Big Spring, Texas, they got a real good shot at it. I don't know much else about them except we're going to have a lot of fun. The folks here in Denver really do love their Broncos. They support them very well, not only tonight, but for the past few years when they haven't been a contender. Now, Frank's going to fill you in on what's really going on in the football world. Talk about Oakland for a while and give you a little bit more about Denver. Frank, would you come in and talk to us for a while?
I think I better.
All right.
These two teams both really pulled it all together last week, and both of them seem to feel that they're on their way to divisional titles, and that holds true for Denver. They're talking about it here in Denver. Denver, with Charlie Johnson at the helm, he threw 4 touchdown passes last week against Houston. No other NFL passer has done that all year. Charlie Johnson, the veteran quarterback for the Denver Broncos. You're going to see a new quarterback. Well, maybe new. He's only been playing a couple of weeks steady for the Oakland Raiders. That's the left-handed Kenny Stabler. He beat the San Diego Chargers rather convincingly last week, and in his 2 starts, he has 2 victories. Should be a football game tonight, one we're going to enjoy. The enthusiasm you cannot believe from here in Denver. We'll be back after this.
Nice shot.
I've made better. Want to play?
I came to play Wisconsin Skinny.
That's me. You a hustler?
Nope, salesman.
Break.
Salesman, huh? What do you sell? Skittle pull. Skittle pull by Aurora. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, what do you do now? Everyone who buys a car is looking for quality, but how do you recognize the outside of a well-made car? Hello, I'm Hugh Downs. This is the Ford LTD, and I'm here to pass along some information that will help you find a well-made car. For example, which door seam looks right to you? Well, if you know what to look for, you'll notice that this door doesn't close straight and tight, and this one does. Or which hood fits properly. Again, notice the uneven space here, while this is even and clean. Those are the kinds of things that tell you you're looking at a well-made car. And if you'll go to your Ford dealer and examine the LTD, Ford thinks you'll agree that this isn't just another car slogan.
The quiet Ford. The closer you look, the better we look.
And, of course, it is Veterans Day. And tonight is a national day of tribute to the men and women of America whose service has helped us achieve peace and to maintain our freedom. And down on the field, they're going to unfurl a giant American flag, being unfurled for a special Veterans Day performance of our national anthem by the Cherry Creek High School Band. And what enthusiasm we have seen here in Denver. Howard mentioned the excitement that has taken over this city as they feel they really have their football team together for the first time in many years.
I mentioned it too, Frank.
That you did. Confetti all over your hair.
These folks seem to really have a good feel for it.
And now the capacity crowd of a little over 52,000 has been asked to rise. And ladies and gentlemen, as the flag is unfurled on the field, our national anthem. Excitement in Denver, and well, there should be. A critical game for both of these teams. They both feel it's critical, although early in the season, only their sixth game. They feel that way because both teams feel that they really put it together last week, as I mentioned earlier. The Raiders with a convincing win behind left-handed quarterback Kenny Stabler from Alabama over San Diego. And Denver with their highest point total since 1962. And here's the man who put it together. And it was just 1 year ago tonight that Charlie Johnson made his first start for the Denver Broncos. And guess who he beat? He beat the Oakland Raiders. And he beat them in Oakland. He threw 2 touchdown passes for 361 yards. Quite a night for Charlie Johnson. The Denver Broncos have won the toss. And dropping deep as we see Ray Guy set up to kick off for Oakland, the number 1 draft pick. First number 1 draft kicker, St. Pete Gogolak. And going deep for the Denver Broncos will be number 33, Joe Dawkins, and number 24, Otis Armstrong. Otis Armstrong out of Purdue. A great All-American there. And you can feel the crowd stomping their feet. Dawkins, but out of the end zone. Ray Guy boots it out of the end zone. And Denver will take over. The touchback. They will take over 1st and 10, moving from their own 20.
When you kick in this town and in this light air, Frank, that ball really moves.
That it does, and we are going to see some really fine kickers tonight, both punting, and we're going to tell you about some records that will be broken. But right now, Charlie Johnson opens at quarterback. His running back, Sir Floyd Little, number 44, and Joe Dawkins, 33. Haven Moses, one wide receiver, out to the left, number 25. Jerry Simmons, 80, the other wide receiver. Now you see them switch positions. The tight end is Riley Odoms, number 88. Here comes Floyd Little. Breaking a tackle, and Floyd Little gets out over the 25 to the 27. Tackled there by Jack Tatum. Let us tell you that Floyd Little only needs 39 yards tonight to go over the 5,000-yard mark in his career. He's now in his 7th year, 7 great years out of Syracuse.
Let us also tell you that 31, Jack Tatum, who made that tackle, is as good a one-on-one tackler as there is in the National Football League.
Gene Washington checks in. His second down along 3. The ball at the 27. Washington split far out to the right. Little gets the call again, and will be stopped short of the first down by about a yard.
Hand off to Little. Stop by Tom.
Good offensive showing by these Denver Broncos, as I mentioned, last week in Houston. They did it on the ground. They did it in the air. 4 touchdown passes by Charlie Johnson, who is now considering a 3rd and a long one. The ball resting at the 29. And incidentally, 3 of those touchdown passes went to Haven Moses. The other one went to Billy Van Heusen. Johnson puts Haven Moses out to the right. He has a 2 tight end offense. Number 61, Tommy Lyons, is 1 tight end. Riley Odoms, the other, number 88. And getting the call is Dawkins, and he breaks the tackle. He's over the 30. Stopped again by Jack Tatum, but he has the first down at the 32.5-yard line. Let's look at some of these offensive players. There's Charlie Johnson in his 13th year, originally out of New Mexico State. The young man we spoke of a moment ago, and he's quite a young man. We'll be telling you about that. Joe Dawkins, obtained from Houston last year. Haven Moses, we just told you about him, 3 TDs last week. And Jerry Simmons, a 9th-year man out of Bethune-Cookman. 1st and 10, the ball at the 32 as you look at the tight end, Riley Odoms. Johnson going to the air. He goes out to Floyd Little. Little short of the first down. A gain of 9. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
Frank,
Or
these
rather,
guys,
a gain of 6.
they're really trying to put an offense together. The Broncos have not had a big offensive team in the past few years. Since Ralston came, they seem to have a good offensive threat. They do try to mix it up a lot. They're utilizing some good talent that they do have. Floyd Little, the guy you've mentioned, can do a lot of things. He can catch the ball, as you saw him do just then. There's the offensive, the Denver offensive line. I want to go down, but these guys have put an offense together, and they think this has made a big difference for them this year.
All right, Charlie Johnson considering a 2nd down and 4. The ball at the 39-yard line. Gene Washington, number 84, is in. The quick pitch out goes out to Dawkins. He's tripped up. Picks up maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 3. The ball just over the 40-yard line. Hit there by Phil Villapiano.
And Nehemiah Wilson played a good one that time, too. Came up from his left cornerback, number 48. You saw him force that in the inside. It was a quick pitch on a quick count. He forced from his cornerback position and turned that thing inside.
You mentioned Nehemiah Wilson. He's number 48, the left cornerback. As Johnson will probably consider the pass, we'll tell you George Atkinson is the tight safety, 43. Jack Tatum, 31, the free safety. Willie Brown, the right cornerback, and a very good one. The bottom of your screen, number 24. Odoms, complete.
Oh, yeah.
Midfield and into Oakland territory. Riley Odoms. 12-yard pickup.
One of the things we were talking about earlier today, Frank, was the fact that Charlie Johnson is one of the quarterbacks. He has been around for a number of years and does love to throw against man-for-man protection. That 3rd down situation, I feel he keyed the middle linebacker. The middle linebacker went to his right. Charlie came to his tight end, who was going to the left, picked up a good 1st down.
Okay, 1st and 10. The ball at the 49-yard line now to the Oakland Raiders. Billy Van Heusen is 1 wide receiver. He's top of your screen. Jerry Simmons is out, and Gene Washington is in. This is Charlie Johnson. He'll automatic a lot. Floyd Little gets the call. He follows the block of Dawkins. He maybe gets a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Defensively for the Oakland Raiders up front, and they're good. 84, Tony Klein is the right defensive end. Art Toms, the right defensive tackle, number 80. Otis Sistrunk is 60. That's not Kung Fu. That's Otis Sistrunk. Bubba Smith, 77. They are tough. The linebacking core, Dan Connors in the middle, a 10-year veteran. Number 55, Phil Villapiano, 41. Gerald Irons, 86. Second down and 9.
Howard will finish the Otis Sistrunk story, I'm sure, before morning.
We'll have the right Sistrunk, too. Otis, not Manny, John.
Started it 2 years ago, Howard. I just want to hold the end of that story.
Little on the trap play, and a very fine play made there by Tony Klein, as you saw. A gain of about 2. Charlie Johnson will be in a passing condition again. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
And it's nice to know Charlie Johnson's comeback with the Denver Broncos. It's nice to know, too, Don, observing him, that he drops back just 5 steps and gets the ball off very quickly, usually the quick outs or the kind of pass he threw to Riley Odoms.
Let's see what he does this time, Howard. He is a good quarterback. He had some great years in St. Louis, but not so successful in Houston. Having, again, some good years out here in Denver. Let's see what he does. He's got 2 guys flanked right. It is a quick 5-yard drop.
Going to Washington, almost picked off by Willie Brown.
Willie Brown is a tough one to throw against.
Don't throw it over there, Don. You know the maxim. Keep it away from number 24. They've been repeating that in the National Football League for years.
Howard, would you look at that?
I saw that. A very, very fine-looking young woman, carefully noted by our director for the evening, Andy Sedaris. Unfortunately, although we love Andy, Chet Forty, our regular director, took quite ill and is in St. Joseph's Hospital here, but nicely recovering. Had a high fever, infection in the bloodstream.
George Atkins is deep. He leads the American Football Conference in punt returns as we watch Billy Van Heusen, who's the 4th leading punter in the AFC, and it takes an Oakland bounce and is down by the Broncos on the 12-yard line. Getting down there quickly was Jerry Simmons. No score, 7-17 remaining in the first quarter. We'll be back.
Contractor Tom Spencer, Wethead. Contractor Tom Spencer, The Dry Look. Chemist Wayne Schwartzman, Wethead. Chemist Wayne Schwartzman, The Dry Look. Importer Joe McDonald, Wethead. Importer Joe McDonald, The Dry Look.
The Dry Look from Gillette. #1 aerosol hair control. Adjustable valve, sprays as light as you like. Find out how much better it can make you look. The difference will surprise you.
Mayor Henry Clifford, Wethead. Mayor Henry Clifford, The Dry Look.
The Dry Look from Gillette.
Name,
Jerry West.
occupation,
Playing ball.
shave,
Double edge. Once I learn something, I stay with it.
blade.
Gillette. What else?
Nearly half the guys in this country are double-edged men. Gillette's kind of men. From super stainless to longer-lasting Platinum Plus, Jerry West is just one of them. Gillette, we made the first blade, and we're still the first blade.
Oakland Raiders take over 1st and 10. Their quarterback, number 12, Kenny Stabler, a 4th-year man out of Alabama. The setbacks are Charlie Smith and Marv Hubbard. Hubbard, 44, Smith, 23. Wide receivers, Mike Siani, 49 to the left, Fred Biletnikoff to the right. And here comes Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith pounds for about 3.5 to 4 yards, just short of the 20-yard line.
Kenny Stabler's a good story, Frank, and I really would like for you to come in and give me these statistics, but he did take over 2 games ago from Darryl LaMonica, who's been the starting quarterback for Oakland for several years, and since they got this play going, I want you to fill me in on that, because I think it's quite interesting about Darryl's touchdown production. Here we go.
This is on 2nd down and 7. Stabler going to Biletnikoff. And Biletnikoff cannot quite find the handle. Good defensive work by Randy Montgomery. And Biletnikoff is one of those players. John will get to Stabler in a moment. Biletnikoff needs 40 yards tonight to reach 6,000 yards as a receiver as we look at him working against
Frank,
Randy Montgomery.
It could have been some trouble if he had held on to that ball. I don't know how quickly he could have gotten away, but he was moving fairly rapidly there. You saw Bill Lasky, number 45, come over from his linebacker position. Maybe he could have stopped him. 3rd down and long.
3rd and 7, the ball at the 19. Stabler again looking for Charlie Smith over the middle. He's covered, and down goes Stabler.
Oh, they love it here in
back
Denver.
to the 11.
Oh, yeah. I never saw so much orange since we played down at the University of Texas in 1957. Here it goes again, Frank. You'll see this pressure put on by that. That's Pete Durango out of Notre Dame coming in there, number 55. But Kenny went back to throw. Was a 3rd and 7 situation. Evidently, he didn't think anybody was open. He got a lot of pressure also from Lyle Alzado, number 77, who came in to make that. Now we got a good punt going.
Single safety, the rookie Ray Guy. 10-man rush, they're going for the block, and he hurries it off the side of the foot. Ray Guy, who was leading the AFC, coming in, anticipated the rush of Denver. Bad kick, 31 yards. Denver in good field position. 7 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. We'll be back in a moment.
Sooner or later, you're going to try a white owl, and when you do, we got you. Maybe we'll get you with the white owl flavor or the mildness, or one of the great white owl shapes like this is the New Yorker. But we're going to get you.
Denver, 1st and 10. They move from their own 46. Here comes the reverse. It goes to Billy Van Heusen. The picket line is set.
Whoa!
Good play by Gerald Irons to stop Billy Van Heusen. Gain of 6.
That's out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
That one could have been a big one. They had a reverse set up. Van Heusen did get around the first pursuit. Came around. Gerald Irons made a good move from his right linebacker position. Here we look at it again. Hand off to Little. Come back to Van Heusen. Look out, Charlie. Here they come. Watch them run. Keep an eye out for Gerald Irons, number 86. He's going to give you one right across the chops. Flap. Yep. 2nd down and 3.
The ball just inside the 40-yard line of Oakland. A look at the 13-year veteran from New Mexico State. Hands off again. The trap goes to Floyd Little. He'll go nowhere. Getting back just to the line of scrimmage.
And he was hit by number 80, Art Tom, former first-round draft choice out of Syracuse, whose development in the recent 2 years has been simply startling. Originally, most people thought that Al Davis had made a mistake in drafting Art Tom as a number 1 draft choice, but he's proved out.
Walking the sidelines, John Ralston, who's turned this Denver team around. He came in last year and did some fine job with them. Used to be known as a great defensive team. Now they're the number 1 offensive team in the AFC after 5 games. 3rd down and 5. The ball at the 40. Looking for Washington. Does he hold on? Yes, he does. No, he does not. He had the yardage for a 1st down, and the Denver sideline is upset.
Gene Washington was acquired by Denver recently in the trade with the Minnesota Vikings. You all remember when Gene Washington was one of the most highly regarded wide receivers in the National Football League, going back to the year that the Vikes went to the Super Bowl. However, he did have a contractual quarrel with Jim Finks, the general manager of the Vikes. And although he was reportedly injured, one suspects that that contractual quarrel was as much responsible for the trade of Washington in exchange for Rod Sherman as anything. And it's expected that Washington will return to his prior form here at Denver.
Right now, we'll look at Jim Turner. Jim Turner will be kicking from the 47-yard line. He's been good, 4 of 6 this year. On his way, George Atkinson at the goal line. Atkinson tripped up as he gets out over the 15-yard line. Stopped there by Marv Montgomery. So action here in Denver at the Mile High Stadium, where we'll be back right after this message.
Sooner or later, you're going to try a white owl, and when you do, we got you. Maybe we'll get you with the white owl flavor or the mildness, or one of the great white owl shapes like this is the New Yorker. But we're going to get you. You know we're going to get you. It's only a matter of time. We're going to get him, white owl. We're going to get him. White owl.
Hey, that's quarterback Bob Greasy wearing my slacks.
They're Kings Road double knits, and only $17 and $18. With Travera polyester double knit and a stretch band roll waistband, you'll make every move comfortably.
He sure has taste.
Choose coordinated sweaters and shirts to go with today's patterns and colors. Kings Road, the name for today's fashion look. Only in the men's store at Sears.
You're looking at an unhappy quarterback, number 3, Darryl LaMonica, who after years as first-string quarterback has been benched in favor of Kenny Stabler.
And Kenny Stabler will move 1st and 10 for the Oakland Raiders. They move from their own 17-yard line. Charlie Smith tries the left side, runs into a tough defensive front 4. Paul Smith in there making the principal tackle. give us an opportunity to tell you this telecast is presented by the authority of the Denver Broncos Football Club. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited.
We ought to be able to save that disclaimer at the first of the year, Frank, and let it go for the rest of the year. You know what I'm talking about?
We'll work on that. All right, on second down and 10, ball on the 17. Siani out to the left, Biletnikoff to the right. And here comes Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith breaking tackles. He has the yardage for the first down. He's topped by Charlie Greer. And we'll also tell you about some other people. Jim Otto, for instance, Howard, he is really reaching a milestone, the center for the Oakland Raiders tonight.
His 188th consecutive game tonight, tying the record held up till now by Forrest Gregg, the old Green Bay Packer great, and that will be true of George Bland also if old number 16 gets in there, which undoubtedly he will at some point.
Forrest Gregg from Sulphur Springs, Texas, 22 miles from Mount Vernon, the hometown of Bobby Maples, who's center for the Denver Broncos. Just thought I'd throw that out.
Master of trivia from the 29 on first and 10. Marv Hubbard goes
nowhere. That was
nowhere.
good, Howard. That was good.
Paul Smith.
Frank, we're seeing something that the Broncos have been, I guess, more noted for than their offense, and that's a good defensive showing in the past few years. They haven't had a good offense, as one of you guys pointed out earlier in the telecast. But these guys have been known for pretty good defense. Besides the fact they got really good-looking uniforms, they play good defense, and, man, that's another pretty girl here in Denver.
It'll be second down and 9. We'll run down that front four for you in just a moment. They're not really names that are well-known throughout the football world, but they're doing a fine job tonight. Stabler, the left-handed passer, looking deep, and he's looking for Siani. And he's picked up out there by little Calvin Jones. I say little because Calvin Jones, number 26, is 5'7" and 169 pounds.
Talking about Denver suddenly becoming an offensive team, it's an interesting contrast between Ralston and Madden. Madden, brought up in the professional ranks as an assistant coach and so on, has now turned Oakland, like many other National Football League teams, into the conservative, basically ground game approach. Grind it out and kick the field goal. Ralston, on the other hand, did two things quickly when he took over. He got Charlie Johnson and Haven Moses and gave his attack balance and versatility.
All right, the Oakland Raiders would like to have the ball turned over or changed. Pete Banaszak is checked in, and Kenny Stabler can't expect the pass rush on a third down and 9 from his 30. We'll tell you about that front four. The Denver Broncos, Barney Chavis, 79, the left defensive end. Paul Smith, the left defensive tackle, number 70. Pete Duranko, 55. Lyle Alzato, number 77, the right defensive end. On third down and 9. Looking for Biletnikoff, checks off. Goes out to 21, Cliff Branch. And Branch, on a good catch, gets into Denver territory. He's at the 44, 26-yard gain.
They know about Cliff Branch around here. He's out of Colorado, and this youngster is some kick runner and is now beginning to come into his own as a wide receiver. He is a speedster.
You see it again there. It was a fairly simple sideline, but Howard is right. He is a local favorite, and I'm sure many of these fans will have somewhat mixed emotions about Cliff Branch because he was a favorite in this area for several years. But now he's wearing a different colored jersey.
First and 10 for Oakland. They're at the 44 of Denver. Marv Hubbard. Hubbard will get 6. Call it 5. It'll be second down. Well, we'll give him 6. It'll be second down and 4.
We don't want to labor the point that Denver's become an offensive team, but it is true that they used to be renowned for their front four defensively when Rich Jackson used to be here and was healthy before he had the knee problem. Now, with a basically young defensive front four, apart from Duranko, look at them holding hands there. What he likes to do, Ralston, is the kind of thing Oakland used to do. He likes to show a different front in that defensive line with almost every play. More on that later.
On a second down, a long 3. The ball goes to Charlie Smith. Big hole, and he gets the first down. He's at the 30.
Good quickness by Smith as he made his break after he got the ball right through the middle. It was a fairly simple off-guard play, but he did make a good move in the middle. You see his statistics there for the year.
You know, Don and Howard, this is just what Ralston was afraid Oakland was going to do, and that is nickel and dime them to death.
Grind it out.
5 yards, 6 yards. And he's worried because his own defensive unit, the Broncos, are 10th in a 13-team conference against the rush.
Oakland is number 1 against the rush, aren't they?
That they are. First and 10, the ball at the 30. 3:36 remaining in the first quarter. No score. This is Marv Hubbard, and he goes into the arms of Pete Doronko.
Now, did you see the line that Ralston had the mass on that play done with Ray May, 56, the recently acquired linebacker, and a very good one, I might add, from Baltimore, right up on the line of scrimmage at the end?
Howard, I honestly didn't see it, but evidently something worked there that time because it did stop him for no gain. You saw Hubbard really, when he got the ball, he knew there was no place to go. Ray May is really a very interesting character. I'd like to get into his personality as the game goes on. He's a man of genuine quality as far as I'm concerned.
Right now, it's 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 30. Stabler looking for Biletnikoff. He can run. Looking for the first down mark. He gets it. 10-yard pickup. It'll be 1st and 10 for Oakland at the 20.
He can sure run. Pittsburgh Steelers fans will remember that incredible playoff game of a year ago when Stabler, with that running ability, suddenly put Oakland ahead until the remarkable play at the very end of the game in which a tip pass was picked off by Franco Harris.
I'm always amused somewhat when I see these different accounts in the newspapers and on actually television too about. There were several articles this week about how the Denver team respected Stabler because of his ability to run. But for years, coaches throughout the National Football League said, we don't want a running quarterback. Now all of a sudden the trend has changed. They need one.
28 is Clarence Davis. He coughs it up.
Look at there.
And Bill Thompson.
Billy Thompson.
Oh, they're going to love that here.
Bill Thompson, out of Maryland State, who intercepted a pass and ran 159 yards for a touchdown a week ago. Used to play quarterback, now playing safety. Underpublicized, but recognized by the football people as one of the best defensive backs in the National Football League. There was a day back in '68 when he put a total horse collar on George Sauer Jr. At that time, Sauer told me there was none better in the then American Football League. He's around the ball.
It's also interesting, Howard, Bill Thompson is the guy who's probably been the most outspoken of the Denver Broncos this past week in saying we're going to have a good game on Monday Night Football. He says, I want on national television. I want people to understand we play good football here in Denver.
Flag goes down. Oakland offsides, conversion good. Denver has struck suddenly here in Mile High City. Here's the young man that took the fumble by Clarence Davis with 80 yards.
Here it is again, Frank. Let's look at it. Number 36 just popped out. And as you say, that bounce went right to him. He didn't have to do a thing but sit there and pick it up. Kenny Stabler, number 12, never was known as a speedster. Nobody's catching Thompson. There he goes, 36.
And you heard the excitement as we look again at Bill Thompson. We'll be back after this.
You think the Mona Lisa had a beautiful smile? Wait till you see this boy turn on the charm. You see, these days I need all the friends I can get. You drive into my station, I'm going to do everything I can to turn you into a lifelong buddy. I'm not just going to wash your front window. I'm going to wash your back window, your side view mirror. I'm going to take a look at your tires, batteries, oil, and look over that car of yours like you'll think I'm getting ready to buy it. That isn't all. If you got a Sunoco credit card, you get special deals from Sunoco on just about everything I sell here. Now listen, it's not because I'm such a great guy. But I got a wife, 2 boys in college, and a mortgage the size of Mount Rushmore. I can be very friendly.
Well, that's the kind of few days we've had here in Denver. Great people in a great state. The weather for 10 days has been hovering around 75 to 80 degrees, and it's beautiful right now. We have really enjoyed it. Barney Chavis, by the way, was the man who made that tackle on Clarence Davis that forced the fumble. Looking deep, we watch it. Number 28, Clarence Davis. 36, Bob Hudson. Coming out is Clarence Davis, leading the AFC in kickoff returns. He's tripped up at the 19. He goes down over the 20. Betty Epson, Peter Graves, and Raymond Massey star in The President's Plane is Missing, a special 2-hour motion picture produced for the Tuesday Movie of the Week tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central, right here, of course, on ABC.
You mentioned Chavis made the tackle, Frank. A high draft choice, number 2 from South Carolina State. Denver expects great things of him.
Looking at Kenny Stabler, who now had things under control. It turned around quickly. Marv Hubbard gets the call on 1st and 10. He might have got a yard, and it was Chavis again who was in there to make the pop. And they're watching themselves on television. This game, of course, a sellout, the blackout lifted here in Denver.
Traveling around, I meet a lot of folks that try to pin me down with the difference between pro ball and college ball. They say we don't feel the enthusiasm in pro ball that you do in a college game. It appears to me in a brief stay here in Denver that these Denver fans and teammates have combined the best of both worlds. They seem to have a great enthusiasm, and they're playing good football.
On 2nd and 10, flooding backs both ways, and he just does get it off to Blitnikoff. Does Stabler. Blitnikoff has the first down. He's out of bounds at the 31. Randy Montgomery and Bill Thompson forcing Blitnikoff out of bounds. He's now gained 15 yards. We told you he needed 40. He needs 25 more to go over 6,000. Look again, Randy Montgomery covering.
Nothing really magic about that route. You saw him just go down there. They were giving him a little bit too much room. We'll take another look at it. He's throwing back in there again. They're putting some pretty good pressure back there.
That was Chavis again.
And Alzado, 77.
1st and 10, moving from the 36. Stabler looking again, and a lot of pressure from Paul Smith.
Oh, yeah. You know, I think one of the neat things when you evaluate different rosters is that most football, quote, experts would say that Oakland does have the better 40-man squad. The fortunate thing is that Denver 40-man squad doesn't necessarily believe that. Take a look at it again. Look at Paul Smith, number 70. He's coming right through there, putting some good pressure on. Kenny didn't have a chance to set up. Had some help from the other side. Looked like Lyle Alzado doing that job. Let's see what Kenny's going to do now on about a 2nd down and about 18.
We'll watch. 1:21 remaining in the first quarter. Denver out in front 7-0.
He
And
got it.
Stabler goes to Mike Ciani, complete just at midfield. It'll be 1st and 10 for Oakland. The ball now marked at the 48, 23-yard pickup.
I hope we have a replay of that. I shouldn't say this, but one thing I'd like to point out was this, that that time Stabler had plenty of time to throw. He was well covered. Ciani was well covered downfield, but Stabler had time to throw. Let's watch this protection this time. Now look at this. He's sitting back there, and I'll guarantee you, man, you give a cat long enough time to throw, those defensive backs just can't cover him back there. So therefore they picked up a good first down.
All right, the ball at the 49 of Denver. Flag.
Oh, yeah, look out.
Stabler gets rid of it. Under a lot of pressure, but again, a flag has gone down as he tried to unload to his tight end, Bob Moore.
Tom Graham came in at that time. Frank middle linebacker blitz. He was also with Chavis again, number 79. Something must have happened to Denver like. I hear the crowd reacting to it. I didn't pick it up.
I think Blitnikoff probably was in motion.
Well, you saw Stabler have to move to his right. Here's a left-handed thrower. Had to come back from that left side. He didn't have enough time to really set and throw the ball. Got good pressure again from the middle linebacker. And Chavis was in there also.
Okay. Denver says no. We'd like to cost them the down. They decline the penalty. It was 2nd down and 10.
32 seconds left in the quarter. Denver took advantage of the one big break, the turnover on the tackle by Chavis, the fumble.
There's my
picked
man.
up by Bill Thompson. Yeah, there's old Bubba.
My friend, Bubba
You
Smith.
always used to look up to Bubba.
I do look up to Bubba.
2nd down and 10. The ball at the 49 of the Denver Broncos. John Bella has replaced Bob Brown, the all-pro tackle for Oakland at right tackle. Brown was starting this game hurt. Flags fly again. And Stabler is dumped by Lyle Alzado.
I think, again, yes, they induced it. And as we wait for this penalty to be faced off, so far, Otis Siskron, earlier alluded to as not kung fu by Frank Gifford, as he was setting the respective lineups at the top of the game. But in the meantime, thus far you've observed the Denver front four playing extremely good football. We've talked about young Chavis. Probably football people would call Lyle Alzado, the fourth-year man from Little Yankton College, the best man in that line. But Paul Smith has been a quality player now and ready to assume his rightful role for a number of years, and it appears he's doing it this year.
Illegal procedure, 2nd down and 15. And here comes Charlie Smith with a big hole, and good running by Charlie Smith. He's close to the first down. Down to about the 39-yard line, 15-yard pickup.
Good offensive call, Frank. A quick trap up the middle. It was 2nd down, long yardage. Smith made a good move. I'm not for sure the defensive back was. It could have been the left safety, Bill Thompson, but he did make a good move. They broke clean through the line, and it's either a first down or very close to it, which will make a 3rd down and short or a first down. Probably a 3rd down and short. But that's kind of neat. You see, they had pretty good field position anyway, and it is the first down, I believe, isn't it?
Nope. They just missed it. It'll be 3rd down, and as you said, short.
As I said, it was 3rd down and short. Yeah, one of those two.
You know, we have a very astute producer, Don Oldmeyer. He keeps asking me, why is the Denver Bronco defensive team holding hands? I don't know. I have never seen a football team do this. Apparently, it's something that they feel is a togetherness. There they are.
Well, it could be that, or it is terribly lonely out there. And tonight they do have about 40 million people watching them. That's the first time. I'd hold hands if anybody would hold hands with me.
All right, you saw how much Oakland needs for the first down. They trail 7-0. Stabler will take it on his own. He gets it.
Whenever you're in trouble, give it to your power runner, Frank.
And Stabler gets the first down as the gun is sounded here at Mile High Stadium in Denver.
It's at least a mile high.
And again, on the strength of an 80-yard fumble returned by Bill Thompson, Denver is out in front, 7-0.
What has Sheraton done for you lately?
Sheraton has added on hundreds of new rooms for you. 147 luxurious rooms and suites in Boston and 300 beautiful rooms at Los Angeles Airport. To confirm a reservation at any Sheraton in the world, call 800-325-3535.
That's what Sheraton does for you now.
We're witnessing the final round of the Skittle Bowl World Championship. The champion, Woody Benoit, has just made his last pass. 9 pins down, 1 remaining. The contender, Don Yarmy, needs 10 down to win. Yarmy approaches the Skittle Bowl. He takes the ball, sights it, releases. It's 10. It's all over. It's Yarmy.
Skittle Bowl from Aurora.
I'm John Brody of the San Francisco 49ers, and I've had my first visit to the Pro Football Hall of Fame here in Canton, Ohio. And now I strongly recommend a visit for every football fan. I was particularly impressed with the colorful exhibition areas, where there is something of interest for fans of every age. Like this Pro Football Today area, where all 26 teams are honored with up-to-date displays. Why not plan a visit soon to the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League.
Yahoo-wah.
Pretty girls here in Denver. I guess they're pretty all over.
Pardon me?
1st and 10. Oakland moving. The ball at the 37 of the Denver Broncos, who are out in front 7-0 as we begin the second quarter. Kenny Stabler looking. He gets bopped again. It's complete this time to his tight end, Bob Moore.
Wide open, Frank. A lot of people think that Raymond Chester's absence from the Oakland offense is possibly an instrumental factor this year in their offensive drive. This fellow right here did catch that one. It was wide open. He is not. We're going to take a look at it again. Howard, you got something to say?
Well, the difference is those people who think something's gone out of the Oakland offense with the departure of Chester, as you watch Moore on that, in effect, square out, are right, because Moore is not the deep threat that Raymond Chester is.
All right, this could be interesting. What's happening here?
Charlie Smith on 1st and 10, and he moves for good yardage. Down inside the 20 to the 17.
That was Calvin Jones, Frank, that came up there. What is he, 5'6"?
5'7".
5'7". And he came in here. A lot of folks thought it was a fluke. They say, oh, yeah, you're putting Calvin Jones out there, number 26. He is 5'7". There's old George Blanda. But Calvin Jones, the fact is, just came in and made this ball club as a right cornerback. He does get a lot of help in certain situations from a zone coverage. That time he came up, made a good defensive move, and made a good tackle.
All right, Charlie Smith has picked up 45 yards already. It's second down and 4. The ball at the 17. Smith gets the call again. Runs into a lot of problems on the left side. Ray May, principally number 56.
Can we speculate a little bit?
Why not?
Well, let's say they don't make this third down in a 4 or 5 situation, which will bring in George Blanda for his attempt at his 300th field goal. Am I correct?
So far. What are you leading up to?
Well, we're going to stop the game and give it to him as the ball, assuming that he makes it.
Splendid.
Yeah. Well,
Right now, Pete Banaszak has come in on third down and 4. Stabler, his team behind, 7-0. 13:33 remaining in the half.
Whoa.
Boy, and he has drawn a crowd all night long. Bill Thompson coming on a safety blitz. Bill Thompson, who was beaten a moment ago by Bob Moore early in the game at 80 yards for a touchdown, has just nailed Stabler all the way back.
Frank, watch it again.
Line.
You do see 36 coming in from his left safety, a safety blitz. This is the one thing, and no matter how much you work on different kinds of blitzes, you're not ready for that safety to blitz. Nobody really is in that backfield to pick him up.
Remember that? Sorry, John. Remember that skinny Philadelphia Eagle who almost took Kittle's head off when you were playing, Frank?
No, I can't.
Ken
Was
Burrow.
it the blade? The blade.
Okay, Blanda looking for his 300th career field goal. He's 11 of 13 this year.
And there it is.
He's got it. George Blanda. Well, what can you say about this man? 46 years old. They're going to hold up and give him the football.
And you know what he's going to do with that football, Don?
No.
I'll tell you. George Blanda, who is 46 years of age and who is a remarkable person, as I think every sports fan in the country knows, going to take that football home and give it to his mother, Mary, who is 77 years old today.
That's really nice.
George Blanda, who's done a lot more in kick during his career. He has piled up over 1,700 points as a kicker, but he was a fine quarterback in his day. Very special man.
If they had to play him, Frank.
Who knows? He could come off the bench as he did a couple of years ago, as he did right here in Denver, and pull a game out of the fire that Denver thought they had won. NCAA college football coming up on Saturday, and it's going to be a good one. USC has not lost 20 in 23 games. They go against Notre Dame in one of the great classics. Notre Dame led by Tom Clemens, Art Best and Dave Casper. USC by their quarterback Pat Hayden, and of course Anthony Davis, who what a game he had last year. Right now, Guy is kicking deep. And Joe Dawkins can't find the handle. He bobbles it. It goes out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
That's not a good move.
Whoa. Watch again. Dawkins loses it, I believe, at just about the 2-yard mark.
You got to know where you are, Frank. I would have said one of the two things. Of course, I wasn't down there, so it's easy for me to say this, but either let it go into that end zone, don't fumble it. That's pretty easy to say. That's going to put him in a hole right there. Let's see how this number 1 defense against the run does down here when they've got Denver backed up on about the 3 or 4 yard line. This could be a real big thing for the Oakland Raiders if they can keep Denver in the hole.
13:04 remaining in a half. Denver out in front, 7-3. Lloyd Little, 44. Dawkins, 33. The two setbacks. And getting the call is Dawkins. Flag goes down. Brother Floyd Little getting the call down there. A flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
Now, we're getting some help.
Oakland, offsides.
Mike Current was afraid we wouldn't get that. He let us know that it was an offsides against Oakland, which was a good break for the Broncos. Gives a little bit more room to work in.
You notice, Don, they've got the signs up here. You got to believe the new maxim. It didn't work ultimately for the Mets, but maybe it'll work for the Broncos.
You still got to believe in something. That's
Charlie
getting harder and
Johnson
harder to do, incidentally.
Puts both of his wide receivers out to the right. They're Haven Moses, 25, Gene Washington, 84. Here comes Floyd Little off the left side. It's about 2.5, maybe 3, out close to the 10-yard line. John Madden, still the youngest coach in professional football at 37 years old. Second down. One of the winningest also.
Through all the years, Oakland has beaten Denver 20 times, lost to them 5 times. Once a year ago, Charlie Johnson's first game for Denver, as Frank mentioned earlier, 1 game tied. So Oakland is always dominating. But it's a new year.
And a 2nd down and 2. The ball at the 10-yard line for Denver. And Joe Dawkins pounding off the left side. He gets the first down. Dawkins out to the 15.
While Dawkins made that bad play on the kickoff just a couple of moments ago, Joe Dawkins has been a very pleasant surprise for the Denver Broncos, acquired from Houston in a trade in 1971. He had shown flashes with Houston, once had a 143-yard game against the Cleveland Browns, and now, with Denver, he's teamed up with Floyd Little. They're no longer a one-man running gang. Dawkins has been doing a whale of a job. Played his college football at Wisconsin.
Good average there, Howard. 5.8. That's not a bad time.
1st and 10. The ball just short of the 15. Charlie Johnson going for Haven Moses. He scored on that play last week against Houston. This time against Nehemiah Wilson, he will not.
Rolled into a zone, Frank. You saw Nehemiah Wilson come up and hit Haven Moses, and you're absolutely right. Haven Moses did try to go around him. He was trying to get there before George Atkinson did. Charlie threw the ball really where he should have thrown it. If that thing works out right, Moses gets away from Nehemiah Wilson, comes into that hole that is in between that zone, picks it off. Johnson passed his 20,000-yard career mark last week against Houston. He was somewhat upset that they played him man for man. He says, I get an idea they don't respect my arm.
All right, Charlie looks over at the defense on a 2nd down and 10. Hands off to Floyd Little. Little turns the corner. He gets out to just over the 20-yard line. Hit there hard by Phil Villapiano.
Floyd Little is
just over the 20.
Exceptional athlete. I'm going to call on my friend and yours, Howard Cosell, to go into a little more detail. Floyd is the recipient of the Brian Piccolo Award this year, Howard. Maybe you can fill us in on some of the details of that. And basically, he is a very conscientious man.
He's a remarkable young
his
man.
Community here.
That's
Floyd
right.
Little.
Dedicated to community service. We will develop that later.
There he is on a 3rd down and 3. The ball at the 21. Gene Washington, top of your screen, number 84. Johnson dumps off the screen to Dawkins. And a good play on Dawkins by Gerald Irons, but Dawkins picks up the first down up to the 33, 7-yard gain.
And we got a shot of that down there in the truck, Mr. Ohlmeyer, because I want to show something. I tell you, Charlie Johnson did a super job that time of setting up the screen pass. He took a real tough lick by that defensive line. Let's take a look at it. I think it may be Klein. I'm not sure who it is in there. Watch him move. Connors didn't see it coming, but Charlie went back. He tackled Bobby Maples. That's old Bobby Maples there from Mount Vernon. But the thing about it, Charlie set that screen up very well.
1st and 10. Denver moving out to their own 33. Haven Moses, the 25, the bottom of your screen. Here comes Little. Little moving behind guard Larry Jackson, and he gets about 8. Mark at 9. He's out to the 41. Bill Villapiano again on the stop.
He was following Larry Jackson that time, Frank number 68, and you saw Little come in there on the outside. He was waiting for Jackson to make his move. Villapiano was the guy that was in front of him, and it appeared to me that Little says, now, Larry, I'm here hiding behind you, but I can't wait any longer. I got to make a cut to the inside, and he did. Jackson, therefore, didn't really have to throw a very good block on Villapiano.
It'll be 2nd down and 2. The ball at the 41. Floyd Little now needs 11 more yards to go over 5,000 yards in his career. Dawkins on the draw play. Toms misses. Villapiano holds on, but good yardage out for the first down. Jack Tatum also helping out.
As Denver continues to show good offense and apparently sparking a current drive downfield. The thing to remember about this Denver team is they had San Francisco beaten until the waning seconds when a Bruce Gossett field goal gave San Francisco a 36-34 victory. They played Kansas City to a 16-14 game. The capacity is there. They defeated the Cincinnati Bengals. So this is not a hunky-tonk team. This is a developing football team, the Denver Broncos.
Right you are. The only question was their defense. They've got a good offense, and Billy Van Heusen misses, and Charlie Johnson came back with the play tried a moment ago between the zone.
I wish he had caught that one. That would really make great commentary. Because Bill Van Heusen did do just exactly what we were talking about a while ago. Bill, I wish you could help us out more up here in the booth, son.
I think you could have better commentary by describing why the pass failed to connect.
Well, why don't you take it over then? Let's hear it. I had it all set when it was if they'd hit it.
I do want to say this about Floyd Little. Not only has he received that Brian Piccolo Award that Dunn mentioned, but he is wearing Christmas seals on his helmet. He's active in the annual lung campaign out here. He's a remarkable youngster.
On second down and 10 from their own 46, Charlie Johnson complete to Haven Moses. And he almost spins out of a tackle. The tackle by number 43, George Atkinson. And he has got the first down again. Denver continues to move, and this crowd loves it.
I'll make my comment on Haven Moses' move. We see it again here. This is the thing I always appreciate with a receiver. Watch him come back toward the ball. If you're going to throw a turn in, the thing that really helps is that receiver plants that foot, comes back toward the quarterback. It really helps eliminate interceptions. It improves completions. And a lot of times when he comes back, he can circle back around that defensive back and pick up some more yardage. Charlie Johnson, 4 out of 8 for 38, as you see right there.
4 out of 8, 4 different receivers. And Charlie Johnson is doing what his head coach, John Ralston, wanted him to do. Hang on to the ball. On first and 10 from the 43, he's going deep for Simmons, and he just threw that one away as he was popped hard by Tony Klein.
Didn't like that throw one bit, to be perfectly honest, Don. Don't know why he suddenly went to the deep ball against that very fine Oakland secondary.
Well, I don't know either, but it was a first down. It was not a good throw, but primarily they had that pattern covered. And oftentimes, the coach is sending in plays right here, but oftentimes the quarterback will get out there, he'll talk to his receivers, and the guy, you got to believe in these receivers. You got to really believe, and you develop a rapport. Sometimes it's hey, look, let me have a deep one on first down. They're playing me really tight on first down. Just let me throw one deep. If I don't complete it, it'll at least keep him off of me. Maybe that was what the situation was.
All right, a second down and 10 at the moment, 7:34 remaining. Denver out in front, 7-3. Gene Washington, bottom of your screen, number 84, Haven Moses on the left side, and were they drawn off or were they offsides? Art Toms, number 80, crashing across.
Yep, they were drawn off. Something happened to take Otis Sistrunk in there. Otis Sistrunk. You got that down?
I got it. And you're going to tell me the rest of the story, the Otis Sistrunk. That trade or that maneuver.
Well, that kept us going in that
Al Davis has been going on for 3 years, Howard.
No, it was last year, the Houston-Oakland disaster.
Nobody
Oakland
understands
34,
that.
Houston nothing. We told the story of how Al Davis outwitted the L.A. Rams and got a player from the Rams named Otis Sistrunk, who's become a truly fine defensive
Don't give me
lineman.
that we stuff. We didn't tell that story.
I told the story.
And no one has understood it yet. And we still don't understand.
I heard it. Second down and 15. Washington, top of your screen, and, well, let's look again. Did they take too much time? Or did they draw it off?
It can't be Bobby Maple's fault. He wouldn't do that.
Illegal procedure again against Denver. Number 74, Mike Curran, appeared to anticipate that count a little bit. Why? On a pass, I don't know. There he is, the third pick for the Denver Broncos in 67.
Well, he came here because his helmet's sitting too far back on his head.
Second down now and 20. John Ralston. Great coaching career. Stanford. Consecutive wins over Big Ten opponents in the Rose Bowl, Ohio State and Michigan. From their own 47, Charlie Johnson moves Gene Washington further out to the left. The screen out to Floyd Little, and Johnson, under pressure from Tony Klein, has to unload it.
Well, he did really well a while ago. He didn't do so good that time. He did have Floyd Little open behind a couple of his offensive linemen who had moved out for a little quick screen. That one was overthrown. It does, when you have these other defensive folks coming in there rushing at you, it has a tendency to make your judgment of throw sometimes a little bit off base. Did you get that, Howard?
I heard you.
Didn't understand that either, did you?
Not altogether sure about your degree of cogency tonight.
Let me try. I'll try it again in a minute.
Third down and 20. The ball just short of the 47 for Denver. Moses out to the right. Oakland with the pressure on, and over the middle, it's complete to Floyd Little. far short of the first down. He'll be at the 45 of Oakland. Tony Klein again, pressuring Charlie Johnson. And riding onto the field is Jim Turner. A pal of yours, I know, Howard.
Jim Turner is a pal of mine who goes back to the Jets days and the Super Bowl team, and who's one of the most consistent field goal kickers in the business, but who does, in truth, have a basic weakness. He's got a limitation of about 45 yards. Very rarely will Jim kick one, even in the light air of Denver, from the distance you're about to see essayed.
He has just a slight breeze, if you want to call it that. He'll be kicking from the...
Splendid, Howard.
Well, it's a 52-yard kick. And George Atkinson has dropped deep, and he is a dangerous return man if Turner is short. You don't get very good coverage on a field goal, and let's see. Hit across the bounced onto the field, and no good.
Once again, the wisdom of Brooklyn has proved absolutely true. He was about 1 yard short.
Short is short is short. We'll be back in Denver after this.
The Dalton Trail in the dead of winter. On this road, you better ride the right kind of snow tire. One slip can leave you buried in a 10-foot snowbank, hours from help. We're driving the treacherous Dalton Trail on Sears steel-belted radial snow tires. Tires made to handle the steep climbs and slippery curves. And when you've got to stop, that's when you really appreciate this tire. The way it digs into deep snow, you can feel it work, feel the positive traction. It's the best performing snow tire we've ever offered. From the radial design and 2 tough steel belts to a unique multi-angle tread pattern with more than 2,000 gripping edges. For full tread width traction when winter's at its worst. The Sears steel-belted radial snow tire. Try it on your own Dalton Trail. Radial design, 2 steel belts, and a deep biting tread. The Sears steel-belted radial snow tire. Only at Sears.
This program is being brought to you as a special exclusive of ABC Sports. Right now, let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
Good idea.
The Raiders take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. Stabler looking for a receiver under pressure, and Ciani is all alone.
Oh,
Somebody
wow.
fell down. I believe Calvin Jones fell down. 80-yard touchdown.
Well, that's not fooling around about it, I'll guarantee you that. He was 15, 20 yards behind him.
Little Calvin Jones, I believe, slipped and fell at midfield.
Slips don't count. Here's Mike Ciani as he comes off. You've got number 21, that's Randy Montgomery that goes with him in the beginning. That's the guy that fell, but he was behind him going in. There's nobody back there in the middle. Well thrown ball, didn't break stride. And now, you got the Oakland Raiders out in front. Son of a gun.
2 80-yard touchdowns here in Denver tonight. Bill Thompson's fumble return for 80 yards, and Ciani has just gone 80 yards as George Blanda comes on to attempt his 81st consecutive point-after conversion. And George Blanda makes it good. So suddenly, Oakland has taken the lead from Denver. They lead 10-7, 6:18 remaining in the first half. We'll be back.
Sometimes your future may be captured in a single moment, in the present.
The sun is shining, things are growing, things are going well with you and me. Future plan together, rich more life together, and things look bright as they can be. We're helping 40 million people, more than 40 million people who know the future is now. At Metropolitan Life, we help to plan your future, because the future is now. So join the 40 million people, more than 40 million people.
Metropolitan Life, where the future is now.
Well, they've had a lot of fun with us here in Denver. We've had a lot of fun with them. 1, 16-17. 17 in your program, Don. 1 in your heart? Nope. Howard's number 1.
Howard is absolutely not number 1. That's the only thing I can see wrong with that.
I
man.
think they're telling it like it is.
You're one pass.
Guy kicks deep. Taken there by Otis Armstrong, the number 1 pick for Denver this past year. He bounds out over the 20. He fumbles the ball, but he recovers.
All right, we've got 6 minutes and 10 seconds left in the half. The Denver fans had been feeling no pain. The Denver team obviously sky high in the Mile High City for this game tonight. Ahead 7-3, and then suddenly the malfeasance or nonfeasance of Randy Montgomery, in effect, gave Oakland a sudden 80-yard swing for a touchdown. Now, it'll be interesting to see how Denver can respond with 6:10, as I said, left to go in the half.
And 1st and 10 for Denver. Bob Anderson, number 11, is checked in to the offensive backfield. Here comes Floyd Little. Little ducked behind the line of scrimmage by Tony Klein, who's having a fine night tonight from his defensive right end for Oakland. Loss of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 11. This Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, the Harlem Globetrotters basketball game from Memphis, Tennessee, and will we ever forget that?
I remember that.
That's ours.
I coached in there.
You've enjoyed that before, and we had a lot of fun with Meadowlark Lemon, and we had a lot of fun with Howard down there. That's Saturday, along with the Duke Kahanamoko Hawaiian Surfing Classic from Hawaii, Sunset Beach.
Duke
Kahanamoko.
Yeah, I remember him, too. He was with Meadowlark Lemon.
On 2nd and 12. Little tried to move to the outside, and he's nailed there as Oakland begins to stiffen. It was Tony Klein again.
That expression of that lovely young lady whom Andy Sedaris from Southern Methodist University, our fill-in director tonight, has picked up, pretty well tells the story. Charlie Johnson cannot run that way. He's got to put that ball in the air a little bit. Let's put it up and see what happens, Charlie.
On a 3rd down and 11, I'm sure we'll see just that. Simmons comes in, moves out to the left. Out to the right goes Haven Moses. The tight end is Riley Odoms. Johnson checking off the line of scrimmage.
There it is.
Beautiful spot. He finds Haven Moses right in that zone, and Don, you'll have some fun with this one.
Yeah,
That's right.
Frank, that really was fun. You saw Dawkins come out, number 33. They were flooding the zone. But the neat thing was that Haven Moses just moved right in around Nehemiah Wilson. We'll take a look at it again. Dawkins is coming out. Nehemiah coming up. He's slipped right inside of him. Well, it wasn't as spectacular as I thought it was the first time I saw it, but it looked pretty good the second time I saw it. The main thing is that he got him a 1st down. Let's go from here.
1st and 10 on their own 33 for Denver. 4:13, clock moving, remaining in the half. They trail Oakland 10-7. Washington, top of your screen, 84. Out to Little, and he's met there hard by Gerald Irons. Just back to the line of scrimmage comes Floyd Little.
Gerald Irons has made several good plays tonight. Let's watch him again from the right linebacker position. I guess he's the newest member of that linebacker corps. He's covered a lot of ground out there tonight.
He's an excellent one-on-one tackler. Oakland has many of those. We talked about Tatum earlier. The same is true of Art Tom, and the same is true of Tony Klein, who, as Frank said, has been having an extremely good evening.
All right, on 2nd down. Clock moving, 3:23. 2nd down, a long 9. Johnson having to get rid of it quickly, and Zach Tatum. Well, Zach Tatum deflected it, and who came up with it?
Irons. Gerald Irons.
Irons.
But there's a flag on the play. Let's see what it is.
Gerald Irons is in a lot of places. He threw that one into a pretty good crowd that time, Frank. They had a lot of folks around there. I don't know what the penalty's going to be, but what it was, you called it. Tatum, it appeared to me, deflected the ball. Irons picked it up. And it also appears there might be a penalty against the Oakland Raiders, which would...
it was clipping after the interception.
Clipping after the interception. So it is Oakland's ball. Let's take another look at this interception and see if we can figure this thing out. You folks at home there help me. Ball's thrown, of course, by Johnson. That was Tatum that came across. Irons, it's amazing, man. I'm telling you. My peripheral vision is getting better.
Your what?
My peripheral vision is getting better.
So Oakland with a 10-7 lead. 3:14 to work with. They have their 3 timeouts. They have the ball on Denver's 49-yard line. Here comes Charlie Smith. Smith gets about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
You look back on this game thus far as several matters of interest. First, it hasn't been a big running night for the man who gained more than 1,100 yards for the Raiders a year ago and is a truly great runner, number 44, Marv Hubbard. In fact, although they've nickel and dimed them, as you mentioned earlier, Frank, there hasn't even been that much running. Stabler has gone to the pass, and you had that one big play that swung the game around.
And the dollar doesn't go as far as it used to.
All right, 2nd down and 7 from their own 49. It travels Oakland. This is Marv Hubbard. Denver stacks it up pretty good, and he fights for about 3 strictly on his own. Paul Smith made the stop. Barney Chavis, number 79, also over there working. It'll be 3rd down and 4. The ball at the 48-yard line, 47-yard line of Denver. Clock moving. We're getting close to the 2-minute warning. And Kenny Stabler starts to walk towards the bench. He's going to let the clock run out to the 2-minute warning. So 2 80-yard touchdown plays, a couple of field goals. Oakland out in front 10-7.
Whatever you'd expect in a $28.95 car, we think you'll agree Mustang 2 gives you more. Jewel-like styling and detailing, a thrifty 4-cylinder engine, front disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, a wood-tone panel with real instruments, even a tachometer, a 4-speed, not 3-speed transmission, a truly elegant, luxurious interior, all standard in the base model Mustang 2. Sticker priced at $28.95, excluding dealer prep, destination charges, title, and taxes. Of course, if you want to design your own version of this little luxury car, we've got countless options. This particular car shows just a few of them. The all-new Mustang 2, almost 19 inches smaller than last year's Mustang, even smaller than the original one. A whole new kind of car, a great new kind of value at your Ford dealer.
With 2 minutes remaining in the half from here in Denver, the Oakland Raiders lead the Denver Broncos 10-7. 3rd down and 3, the ball at the 47.5-yard line of Denver. Kenny Stabler has gone to the sidelines to discuss strategy with head coach John Madden. He has 3 timeouts to work with. Let's see what he comes up with. He has Pete Banaszak, who's a fine receiver, in the backfield, along with Charlie Smith. Going out to his favorite receiver, Fred Biletnikoff. And there's no way you're going to cover Biletnikoff one-on-one as the Denver Broncos were trying to do with Randy Montgomery.
Smooth move. He went down about 15 as he made his break. He came back. We'll take a look at it here. In old Dallas Cowboy terminology, they call that an acute route. I never did understand why. I thought it was cute, but you saw Fred Biletnikoff run it well. He went down about 15, came back to about 12. The ball was there. 1st down. Let's go again.
He gets the 1st down on the 41. This time Stabler dumps it off to Banaszak. And Banaszak dropped there by little Calvin Jones, number 26. He's very close to the 1st down. Biletnikoff now has caught 2 passes for 21. He needs 19 more yards to go over 6,000 yards.
Stabler is using his ball club very well. He's got his team now in good, solid field goal position. Got 1:14 left. We've got the measurement right now for the 1st down. Number 40, Pete Banaszak, who just caught that pass, has been around for a lot of years. Characterized most often as a journeyman ball player, he's nonetheless the kind of fellow who can get you the yardage you need when you need it. Never spectacular, but solidly efficient, and makes very few, if any, mistakes.
How about that one? They got that one very close to being right. If I've ever seen a mile-high mouth, I wonder who they're talking about, Frank?
No, they're talking about the old Dangerous.
No.
Bitten by bitterness and envy, Meredith.
Well, while they talk over strategy, let me tell you, 2 gentlemen, that singing star John Denver, who makes his home in nearby Aspen, Colorado, where they got a little piece of my right leg last Christmas. John Denver makes his dramatic acting debut as a young man accused of a mercy killing on Owen Marshall, Counselor at Law, Wednesday night at 10, 9 Central here on ABC.
Did you ever get your fibula back, Frank?
How about that? Singing Rocky Mountain High. That ain't no bad place.
You saw how much for the 1st down. It'll be 2nd down. Cliff France has come in now as one wide receiver. 1 minute and 14 seconds remain in the half. Oakland ahead, 10-7. They scored on an 80-yard touchdown pass, Mike Ciani from Kim Stabler. Earlier, Bill Thompson, the safety man for Denver, went 80 yards with a Clarence Davis fumble. George Blanda kicked a 35-yard field goal. His 300th of his career. That's our scoring. Oakland 10, Denver 7.
They got a zone over there on that side. Let's see what happens to it.
He wants Paletnikov, and he's covered well.
Oh, yeah, but look at him come
what he
back,
did.
Frank. That's what he did a while ago.
Just what you were talking about, coming back to the passer.
He had a three-man zone with that safety, left cornerback. Both safeties actually come into that left side. Actually, the offense will be right side. But Paletnikov goes down. We'll take a look at it again. Stabler got a little pressure that time, but he did have good protection. Enough time to throw. Paletnikov moves in, moves back into position. Really important for a receiver to come back for that ball.
And he's gone over 6,000 yards.
There he goes right there.
Going for his tight end, Bob Moore, incomplete.
Out of the end zone.
Charlie Greer covering for Denver.
Did you notice on the play you just called on the replay? Let's take a look at Bobby Moore. Out of Stanford, going out on this play. Beating number 20. But you'll see him move deep into that end zone corner. And you'll see the feet come down. See that? Proper call. For once, Dandy can't criticize the officials.
I don't criticize the officials for Howard. I just try to help them.
Of course, in professional football, both of those feet have to come down inbounds unless you're hit by a defender. We told you we didn't quite have time to elaborate on it, but Fred Paletnikov has gone over 6,000 yards in his career. 6,003. Here's Stabler on second down. Out of pressure, and getting in there is Lyle Alzado. Fourth time now, Stabler has been nailed.
Give that secondary credit that time, Frank, because they had his guys covered downfield. He had good enough protection or time enough to throw. You can't fault his offensive line. Lyle Alzado is the guy that gets in there, but Kenny just couldn't find anybody open.
Lyle Alzado is the kind of guy who gets in there. I suggested earlier he is the best player on that Denver defensive line. And you know, of course, where Lyle Alzado originates from.
No, I don't, Howard.
Brooklyn, New York.
No, I didn't know that. Bobby Maples is from Mount Vernon.
Oakland with one timeout. We'll be back.
The pros who run on road race courses, on major drag strips, and at the Indy 500 run for all they're worth. And more of these pros run on Valvoline racing oil than any other brand. Valvoline, the motor oil the pros run on. Now, doesn't that tell you something about the brand of motor oil you should run on? Valvoline, a product of Ashland Oil, a growing worldwide company.
House of Windsor invites you to try a better 15-cent cigar. Go ahead, try one.
You know something? This really is a better cigar.
Yes, House of Windsor really is a better 15-cent cigar.
Third down for Oakland, 26 seconds remaining in the half. They lead Denver 10-7. They have the football on third down at the 21 of Denver. They have one timeout remaining. Stabler under pressure, and this
I can't believe it.
How can it happen? How can it happen? Randy Montgomery, who fell down against Mike Ciani, had that one go right through his hand. Paletnikov is all the way down to the 6-yard line.
Frank, that really is. You got to have a great deal. Yeah, because Randy's bit. Yeah, he really is. Let's take a look at it. Paletnikov actually fell down. He's going down. He has it pretty well covered. He comes up inside of him, and there the ball is. Went right through his hands, and Paletnikov caught it. But it's still fourth down, so George Blanda comes in. It's going to be field goal time. Well, he just fell down trying to make that cut to the outside. You know, one thing that could have been funny is Montgomery had a lot of running room. He could have moved that ball back down a long way. I presume we'll be trying a field goal.
Blanda from the 13. That's field goal number 301 in his career. And he extends Oakland's lead to 13-7.
Number 21, Randy Montgomery, has to be feeling all the pain that a man can feel. Not a pleasant evening for him.
Well, I don't know whether it's all the pain a man can feel, but I imagine he's pretty upset about that.
I would think.
Blanda now with the 2 field goals. Has kicked 301, as we mentioned. Truly remarkable feat. There is little Randy Montgomery, and, well,
yeah, not easy.
Really has been tough on him. He fell down against Mike Ciani.
We've got a good set of halftime highlights coming up. We've got 16 seconds left in the half, and we've got a great college football game coming up next Saturday.
Yeah?
You know, I played in a few of those SC Notre Dame things, and they're more like a war than a game. It should be a beauty. Notre Dame has not beaten USC in 7 years. I know Ara Parsegan would forgive me for saying that. I'd just like to point it out.
Well, that was the fact, Frank.
We stick with facts.
Right.
Guy kicking. This one will be taken by Otis Armstrong. He bobbles the ball, but gets it again. And he gets out to the 25 as the clock ticks away. Pete Banaszak was down there to make the stop on this Otis Armstrong, the number 1 pick of the Denver Broncos, and he shows a lot of promise.
Otis Armstrong, you'll remember, in the College All-Star game, which was carried right here on ABC back during the summer months, was the outstanding offensive player on that College All-Star team. And while John Ralston's breaking him in slowly, the conviction is he's got a big future.
Great potential again, right?
That's what they keep saying.
Heavy burden.
1st and 10 for Charlie Johnson. He's a veteran quarterback. He only trails by 6. He'll take it easy. Try not to get hurt in these waning seconds of the first half. Clock ticking with 5 seconds. The fans boo. They just don't understand the game.
Well, I don't understand the timeout that was called there, Frank, because if you are going to run off left guard, why are you going to call timeout? You picked up 4 or 5 yards. I'd say take it on into the house. Let's sit down and think about it. Ball game's still anybody's game.
You know, Don, I think John Ralston beckoned to Charlie Johnson to call timeout because Charlie was going back to the huddle and he looked over the sidelines and then sprinted over to have a chit-chat with Ralston.
Well, Ralston is the boss. You know, it's an old cliche, says you may not agree with the boss, but he's still boss. Don't know whether that's going to hold up so much these days anymore. The boss has got to have something to say for his folks to listen to him.
You keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Gain of 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 5. It'll be interesting to see what Charlie Johnson will do now. He's just chit-chatted with the coach. I'm sure Johnson would like to let the clock run out, not risk an interception. He only trails by 6 points, even though Oakland has dominated here in the 2nd quarter. Maybe he pointed that out to Coach John Ralston. Obviously, he didn't.
Whoops. That's going to be an interception.
That's what hurts. That's what Charlie Johnson did not want to happen.
Yeah. Well,
time runs out.
And they're lucky it did.
A return of 26 yards by Jack Tatum as the time runs out. Exciting football here in the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. This man's been around. He knows what he's doing. 13 years, 10 of them at St. Louis, a couple with Houston, and now doing a fine job at Denver. We'll be back with a fine halftime show. Highlights from yesterday.
Oh, please, Dad.
Okay, Billy. We'll make it an early birthday present.
Oh, boy, thanks, Dad.
How much is it? $64.25. A little short. Hey, relax. You've got a Master Charge card.
Master Charge. Good in more stores nationwide than any other card. Maybe that's why we're number 1. Relax. You got Master Charge.
The Dalton Trail in the dead of winter. A lonely, treacherous run for the Sears steel-belted radial snow tire. A tire made to handle the steep climbs and slippery curves. To stop you, even in deep snow. It's the best-performing snow tire we've ever offered. Try it on your own Dalton Trail. From radial design and 2 steel belts to the multi-angle tread pattern for deep, biting traction. The Sears steel-belted radial snow tire. Only at Sears.
Watch The President's Plane is Missing tomorrow at 8, 7 Central.
We're back live at Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado. Halftime, the Oakland Raiders with 13 points in the second quarter, leading the Denver Broncos in another crisp NFL game, 13-7. The scoring in the first half went like this. Bill Thompson, number 36 of the Denver Broncos, picked off an Oakland fumble and went 80 yards for a touchdown for Denver. It came out of nowhere. Now watch the play. A savage tackle by Barney Chavis caused the fumble by Clarence Davis. Thompson, a very good defensive back who's usually around the ball, picked it off and went down, unhampered for the score. So Denver led it 7-0. Then in the second quarter, George Blanda kicked his 300th career field goal, 35 yards. That made it 7-3. Denver then appeared to mount a drive that culminated with a Jim Turner field goal attempt of 52 yards. That hit the upright, was a little low in fact, and quickly Oakland reposted with an 80-yard pass play from Kenny Stabler to Mike Ciani, the young wide receiver from Villanova. It was an extraordinary play, coming as it did with unexpected suddenness, and Randy Montgomery, 21, right there was the culprit. First letting Ciani get past him, and then slipping and falling. So it was an easy matter for Ciani to go all the way on that 80-yard play for the score, and so Oakland took a 10-7 lead. Then just before the end of the half, George Blanda kicked his 301st career field goal, and the halftime score is, as stated, 13-7. Quickly looking at the other scores in the NFL yesterday, Miami trounced Buffalo 27-6. O.J. Simpson was held to 55 yards. You'll see O.J., of course, next Monday night against Kansas City. Cleveland routed Houston 42-13. As we move down the line with other scores in the NFL yesterday, Kansas City lost to Cincinnati 14-6. Paul Brown's Bengals are playing great football, having upset Pittsburgh the previous week. San Francisco came alive to murder New Orleans 40-0. New Orleans had won 2 straight previous upsets. And the Dallas Cowboys 45, the New York Giants 28. The Cowboys having a big day, the Giants suffering their 4th defeat of the year. Washington got even with St. Louis for that early season defeat. This time the Redskins won it. Billy Kilmer played. Sonny Jurgensen rested the leg and then came in when Billy got hurt. That was 31-13. And New England upended the Chicago Bears by a score of 13-10. That's the way it went yesterday in the National Football League, except for those games whose highlights we are now going to show you. Highlights provided for us, of course, through the good auspices of NFL Films. So we're going to take you through a whole series of games with some of the most exciting action in play in the NFL yesterday. And we begin with a major upset, Baltimore against Detroit. Tiger Stadium, Detroit, Michigan, the Colts against the Lions, the mascots on display, where early in the third quarter, the score, Baltimore 10-6 for Detroit. That's Greg Landry, number 11 on the option, throwing off to number 42, Alfie Taylor, who goes down the left sideline, a 29-yard gain. Now we're just 6 plays later, and it's Landry again, the great running back, moving in for the touchdown himself. Not just a fine quarterback, but a great running quarterback. And the Lions lead it 13-10. But just 2 plays later, the young man from Columbia, Marty Domris, throwing downfield to Glenn Doughty. And he's all alone. He got past the Detroit secondary. And this is a 66-yard touchdown play. The Colts lead it 16-13. Now, we're in the third play of the fourth quarter. And you're looking at Don McCauley, number 23, the young man from North Carolina, with a beautiful piece of running, go for a 14-yard touchdown. The Colts at this point take a 23-13 lead. Colts having tough times this year, but not on this day. We have only 41 seconds left in the game. The Colts are leading 29-20. A desperate Greg Landry is throwing again. And it's taken in by the great tight end, Charlie Sanders, number 88. Too little, too late. The Colts win it 29-27. This is San Diego Stadium. Norm Van Brocklin, coach of the Falcons. Swede Sparry, coach of the Chargers. And it's a big day for the Falcons. Right there you see Art Malone, number 25, twisting and spinning in for a touchdown, and Atlanta takes a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Now we're in the second quarter. And look at Dave Hampton go. Number 43, a brilliant running back, once with Green Bay, now pouring it on for the Falcons, and that touchdown makes it 17-0. This is young Dan Fouts, rookie quarterback for San Diego. And this is reflective of the kind of day he had. 1 of 4 interceptions. This one picked off by Roland Lawrence and returned, as you see downfield, 81 yards. Not a happy time at all for young Dan Fouts. But a great day for Bobby Lee, the new quarterback for Atlanta, in their sudden resurgence. Now Atlanta is leading 34-0. And this time you're seeing Eddie Ray, typifying the whole day for Atlanta. His second touchdown of the day. The Falcons win it 41-0. An unhappy Joe Willie Namath, sideline at Three Rivers Stadium. But the Jets doing surprisingly well against the Steelers. A minute left in the first half. They're leading 7-6. And Bill Demery hits Richard Castor, number 88. The Jets have a 14-6 halftime lead. But the Steelers come back. 4.5 minutes elapsed in the fourth quarter. Trailing 14-12, and Ron Shanklin, together with Terry Hanratty, faked out Ellis Howell, touchdown, the Steelers lead. Now we're close to the end of the game. 1 minute and 11 seconds remain. Demery running around, looking for Eddie Bell, but finding instead a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers named Mike Wagner, number 23, who with a brilliant burst of running returns the football 38 yards to set up the chief of Franco's army, Mr. Harris himself, who had a great day gaining 102 yards. This one for the touchdown, a 2-yard burst. The Steelers won it 26-14 over the Jets.
The bull, symbol of strength and confidence. Today, signature of a company, Merrill Lynch. Total assets.
The whole day for Atlanta. His second touchdown of the day. The Falcons win it 41-0. An unhappy Joe Willie Namath, sideline at Three Rivers Stadium. But the Jets doing surprisingly well against the Steelers. A minute left in the first half. They're leading 7-6. And Bill Demery hits Richard Castor, number 88. The Jets have a 14-6 halftime lead. But the Steelers come back. 4.5 minutes elapsed in the fourth quarter. Trailing 14-12, and Ron Shanklin, together with Terry Hanratty, faked out Ellis Howell, touchdown, the Steelers lead. Now we're close to the end of the game. 1 minute and 11 seconds remain. Demery running around, looking for Eddie Bell, but finding instead a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers named Mike Wagner, number 23, who with a brilliant burst of running returns the football 38 yards to set up the chief of Franco's army, Mr. Harris himself, who had a great day gaining 102 yards. This one for the touchdown, a 2-yard burst. The Steelers won it 26-14 over the Jets.
symbol of strength and confidence. Today, signature of a company, Merrill Lynch. Total assets, $3.6 billion. Net worth, $449 million. Securities held for customers, over $20 billion worth. Merrill Lynch, strong, solid, substantial, developing new investment ideas. Merrill Lynch, 29 ways to help you share in America's growth.
You are about to get a bird's eye view of the difference between a one-blade shave on your left and a two-bladed Track 2 shave on your right. As both razors shave, the first blade lifts the whisker out from the face. But the Track 2 razor has a second blade that can shave the whisker again, closer, before it all snaps back. Even with two strokes, no one-blade razor can make that statement. And the Track 2 is safer because the blades are recessed. The Gillette Track 2 razor, the first razor with two blades.
Set your spirit free with the flair. Set your spirit free with the flair. Send a message loud and clear. Write a smile, write a tear. Set your spirit free with the flair. Set your spirit free with the flair, flair. Set your spirit free with the flair, flair. Write a whisper, write a shout, coloration, let it out. Set your spirit free with the flair.
Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, the unbeaten Rams against the Green Bay Packers. The Rams with the ball. We've got only 45 seconds left in the half. The Rams are leading 3-0, and it's not enough for Johnny Hadle, 21, who hits Harold Jackson, having an incredible year for the touchdown, and the Rams move ahead 10-0. Now we're in the third quarter. And watch MacArthur Lane on the option pass play. Throwing to and hitting number 80, Barry Smith, the top draft choice from Florida State. And so the Pack tightens the game at 10-7. But on the fifth play of the fourth quarter, with the Rams now leading 13-7, let's have a look at Mr. Hadle. Down to John Snow. And it's just a foot short of the touchdown as Jack corrals the pigskin, number 84, the ever-dependable receiver. And that sets up a touchdown. So the Rams are well ahead. 3 minutes and 52 seconds elapsed now in the fourth quarter, and the score 20-7. Scott Hunter trapped for a safety by number 89, Freddie Dreyer. That makes it 22-7 in favor of the Rams. Now it's 8.5 minutes gone in the final quarter, and Jimmy Delgado is the quarterback, and the tackler again is Freddie Dreyer. That's an NFL record, Freddie's second safety on the day, and so the Rams defeat the Pack 24-7. The Rams are unbeaten, 6 up, no defeats. Metropolitan Stadium, Bloomington, Minnesota. That's Fran Tarkenton, of course. Before him, it was his favorite receiver, Johnny Gilliam. And with 5.5 minutes gone in the first quarter, look at this double reverse. Gilliam winding up with the football, moving around the right side. And this young man has nothing but speed. He goes 44 yards. Touchdown. The Vikes take the lead over the Eagles, 7-0. We move ahead. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. The Vikes leading 14-0. Roaming Gabriel. 50-yard touchdown pass to the angular Harold Carmichael. And just when there seems to be hope for the Eagles, the play is called back. A holding penalty. The marker speaks for itself. But Gabriel comes right back. He hands off to Poe James, 27. And it's a touchdown run, 12 yards. And the Vikings lead 14-7. Moving ahead to the third quarter. Fran Tarkenton. And you've got to know whom he's looking for. It's Johnny Gilliam. He's almost uncanny in the way he gets loose. That one's good for 42 yards. Now, with approximately 6 minutes gone in the third quarter, Tarkenton again. And, of course, to Johnny Gilliam. Touchdown, and the Vikings lead it 21-7. It's early in the fourth quarter. Now the score is 21-14 Vikes, but Chuck Foreman, the brilliant rookie from Miami of Florida, moves in for the touchdown, 28-14. We've got 4.5 minutes remaining in the game. Now look at Charlie Young, the great tight end, rookie from USC, running powerfully over people. Touchdown. The Eagles trailing 28-21. And that's the way the ball game ended up. The Vikes unbeaten 6-0.
The signs are out at Denver, and the Denver fans have not given up a great deal of hope. Last week against Houston, at one point near the midpoint of that game, they trailed 20-10. And right now, Oakland leads 13, Denver 7. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Oakland Raiders versus the Denver Broncos, is being brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealers, to invite you to take a close look at the 1974 Ford cars and trucks. The closer you look, the better we look. And by Sears Tire and Auto Centers for die-hard batteries, steady riders, shock absorbers, and Sears steel-belted radial tires. And by the Gillette Company, makers of the Dry Look. #1 aerosol for men's hair. No wonder the wet-head is dead. We'll be ready for the second half kickoff between the Raiders and the Broncos, brought to you by ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. Right now, this word from our local stations.
Toma takes on a partner Thursday at 8, 7 Central on ABC.